Rob Watson, singer, frontman, lyricist for the band LIONHEART.
Tell me, have you ever lost somebody? What I have, it hurts so bad. I wanna lost somebody. Lost a brother. He was 18 years old. He was 18 years old. Rest in power. Rest in power. Rest in power. Now he's living in the sky. When looking down on me, forever having my back. They're watching over me. But every time I hear the name, my heart breaks. When every time I feel the pain, there's no escape. Rest in power. Rest in power. Gone but not forgotten, cause you're looking down and watching.
Do you ever feel a pressure to up yourself from album to album? What do you do to motivate yourself going into the next session of recording and writing?
I think everybody does, yeah. I think if you're in a band and you take it seriously, I think you definitely want to put out something better every time. It's a little bit different for us, though, because it's not our career and it's not... I've already gotten to live my dream. We already played all over the world. I got to play with bands I grew up loving. I mean, we got to do a small tour with Blood for Blood. So after that, I could have killed myself, and I would have been happy. It would have been over for me. It's fine. So, I mean, we honestly, truly do it for fun. So there's a lot less pressure now than there was back when we were like really trying to make it happen, you know. And ironically enough, now we're actually bigger than we were back then when we really were trying. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but especially me, I've relaxed so much in the writing process, and I just write exactly what I want to write, period. I say whatever the fuck I want to say, and that's it.
Usually when bands start out, a way that they learn music is to actually cover stuff. Yeah. And when they actually start playing and even touring, they'll still do some covers. Were there covers that you guys did back then that you're still doing today, and what are they?
Yeah, there's going to be a common theme here with this interview, I think. But we used to cover Blood for Blood's Mother Dear. So we used to do that. I think that's honestly the only cover that we ever really did. We did used to cover Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff, just because it was funny and it just bummed people out, and I always thought that was tight.
Did you put your own spin on it, though?
No, we just covered it, but we only covered like the first 30 seconds, and more often than not, like people would just be bummed, and then they talk like hella shit online, which made me just do it even more, because if you can't take the joke, and I mean, you know, people take themselves way too seriously, so we try to cover the corniest shit possible, which was how the Limp Bizkit thing happened.
Why you need me? I will defend, cause I'm alive, yeah. Why you need me? I will defend, cause I'm alive, yeah. Right away, I take what's mine. You get what coming for you. What I speak remains untrue, cause I'm alive, yeah. And I defend what's mine.
And here we are in beautiful Pleasanton, California. I was scoping some of your Facebook stuff, and it says that you're Northern California based.
Yeah.
But you did not put Livermore. But
no, we got people all over the place. So when the band started, I was living in San Francisco. This would have been like 2004. And then, San Francisco was just too expensive to live in at that time. I was 18 years old. I had $0, so it was terrible. Lived in SF for a while though, and then our first guitarist and I moved to Livermore because it was just hella cheap. I mean, at that time it was crazy cheap. It wasn't what it is now. Now it's more of a commuter town, and things keep moving east because of prices, so now it's actually pretty expensive. But then it was really cheap, so that's how we ended up there. But I don't even live there anymore. Actually, no one lives in Livermore now. But we have a couple guys in Sacramento. Couple people in like the San Ramon area, and then I actually live in Chicago, and so does our drummer. We moved to Chicago like a year and a half ago. So, but I'm moving back soon anyway, so.
What was it that drew you to this style of music?
Two things. One, the lyrical content. The first real hardcore band that ever got into was Blood for Blood, and I pretty much, when I first got into it, I didn't even know the difference between hardcore or punk or whatever back then. I just thought I was listening to punk stuff, AF, Blood for Blood, all that type of stuff, and I didn't even realize it was hardcore, really. I just thought it was like a better version of punk. I just thought it was a heavier version of punk. But the lyrical content of it stuck out to me. Like when I was probably 10, 11, 12 years old or something, and at that time especially, I feel like there was a ton of political punk and things like that. I mean, there still is, obviously, but it was way heavy, at least in the CDs that I had back then and the compilations I was getting. That's all it really was, and I couldn't really relate to that because I was like 11 years old and I didn't give a fuck what was going on with any of that shit. But I was going through a bunch of shit. I mean, we were poor. I mean, life was just shitty, no different than a lot of other people. And so I never really connected with it. I liked it because it was pissed, but I didn't like what it was pissed at. I couldn't relate to it. Then I got a hold of some Blood for Blood tapes, shit like that, and it just changed my whole entire life because finally somebody was talking about shit that I actually could relate to and could feel and understood.
Where do you think punk is today versus where hardcore is, and why is hardcore more prominent?
I mean, I think it's hard even now, more so than it would have been. I feel like every year it gets so much more marginalized, and there's so many more subgenres for it that you can't even. I mean, I don't even know what punk is anymore, and frankly, I honestly don't even know what hardcore is anymore to some extent. I mean, there's bands like, I don't know, what's a good example? Turnstile and Blood for Blood, both quote-unquote hardcore bands, but I mean, you couldn't be farther apart in terms of style and sound and lyrical content. So I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know how to answer that question, actually.
How would you describe the hardcore ethos? What does it mean to be hardcore?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I couldn't, because it's so different for people now. For me, though, it's not even so much as the musical style as it is the lyrical content. I think that's what's different nowadays versus, I mean, I just keep going back to Blood for Blood because that, to me, Blood for Blood is the definition of hardcore band, in my opinion. That is the best hardcore band of all time, and they embody everything that I enjoy and like about hardcore.
That's, so to speak, that's like your genesis. And I don't mean the band, I mean Bible-wise. I mean, that's
that is it. That is completely it. I mean, that before that, it was whatever to me. When I heard them, it was like, holy shit, like, I'm not the only person that is that fucked up. I'm not the only person that thinks all this shit. I'm not the only person that's that pissed. Like, I'm not the only just lunatic. You know what I mean? But nowadays, I don't think there's as much honesty in it. I mean, there's bands that do it, and there's bands that do it right, and there's bands that I enjoy, but I just think it's different nowadays, in my opinion, at least.
Who are some bands for you right now? If it seems weird to keep saying hardcore in light of what we were just saying, but let's just call it hardcore. Who are some bands that are at the top of their game right now for you?
Lifeless from Pennsylvania. Band is insanely heavy, and they're awesome. And I love his lyrics. He's got great lyrics. Lifeless for sure. Band called Wisdom in Chains. I love them. They've been around for a long time, and they're still killing it, so that's awesome. I don't even listen to hardcore anymore.
Well, what do you listen to?
I listen to 90s R&B all day, every day. Nice. That's the story of my life. Nice. At this point, if I'm not listening to Blood for Blood, I'm probably listening to Genuine.
If you could do a dream gig, and don't worry about broken up or whatever, or death, if you could have a dream gig, what would it be? What would the lineup be?
Like a tour or a short
like
or
a
a
tour
show?
that you guys would be on.
Is it genre specific?
You can do it, well, actually, that's interesting. No, let's do it non-genre. Just do whatever, like pick 5 bands.
Like if I'm in charge of building a fest,
Yes.
non-genre specific. Lionheart's on it, of course, yes?
Yes.
Fair enough. Bruce Springsteen, Pantera, Blood for Blood, Strife, Boyz II Men, Genuine, Drew Hill Reunion, all members. Jagged Edge, all members. Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Desmond Decker.
Get up in the morning, slaving for bread, sir, so that every mouth can be fed.
Who else do I want on this party of mine? See, I said Boyz II Men, right?
Yes.
That includes all members because they've recently been touring. Last time I saw them, they were missing one of the dudes.
Without the deep vote.
Yeah,
guy, the
bummer.
baritone guy.
Yeah, I don't like that. Bone Thugs, all members.
As a genre of music, why hardcore for you in particular? Not so much the band, but what was it that drew you to this style of music?
Two things. One, the lyrical content. The first real hardcore band that I ever got into was Blood for Blood, and I pretty much, when I first got into it, I didn't even know the difference between hardcore or punk or whatever back then. I just thought they were. I mean, I was listening to punk stuff, AF, Blood for Blood, all that type of stuff, and I didn't even realize it was hardcore really. I just thought it was like a better version of punk. I just thought it was a heavier version of punk.
I was where you live like a lion, so a lion I will be. Rest in peace to my enemy. You're no better than to fuck with a beast. Like me. Don't fuck with a beast.
I don't even know what punk is anymore, and frankly, I honestly don't even know what hardcore is anymore to some extent. I mean, there's bands like Turnstile and Blood for Blood, both quote-unquote hardcore bands, but, I mean, you couldn't be farther apart in terms of style and sound and lyrical content. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know how to answer that question, actually.
What does it mean to be hardcore?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I couldn't, because it's so different for people now. For me, though, it's not even so much as the musical style as it is the lyrical content. I think that's what's different nowadays versus... I mean, I just keep going back to Blood for Blood because that, to me, Blood for Blood is the definition of hardcore band, in my opinion. That is the best hardcore band of all time, and they embody everything that I enjoy and like about hardcore.
Paranoia's got a stranglehold on my mind. I want to say relief, but not this time. It seems nowadays to stop the structure. I need to drink and drink to forget the future.
What's the next step for Lionheart? 2016, what happens?
Our album comes out January 22nd. We're doing some West Coast release shows. We're doing some Midwest release shows. Then we're going to Europe for all of February for a headliner out there. We're taking out Kubla Khan and Desolated and this other band called Fall Brawl. They're good. And then come home. I think we're going to do something in the U.S. in the spring, like a full U.S., which we haven't done in a really long time.
Nice.
I don't think we've done a full U.S. tour since 2012. Go back to Europe this summer for the festivals. Probably do some South America stuff. Just try to get as much in as we can while we can.
When you look back on Lionheart, what do you want its legacy to be?
That we were honest. I mean, I don't know if that's even the type of answer you were looking for, but that's all I really want. That would be fine with me. I mean, I think we've always been an honest band. We've never really tried to be anything that we weren't. Never really switched up our style. Been singing about the same shit since day one. I still mean it. People have liked it and people have not liked it, but it's been the same.
Final question. Somebody comes to a Lionheart show, they've never seen them. What are they going to see?
They're going to see a party, straight up. Especially if it's in the Bay. Shit gets wild. I mean, we gig. We have a good time. Like, everybody gets wild. Our shows have been going off lately, so I think if people haven't seen us before, they'd be stoked.